Welcome back, everybody. I'm starting a few minutes early, but since I intend to dive in with a mini quest or side quest right off the bat, that's alright, and then we'll get right back to our main quest after that. As you all remember, we finished the Derval storyline when last we were here.
To think he built all this alone. So many memories. It's not home anymore. Not without Rost.
And first and foremost, let's go someplace that's a little more weather appropriate for what she's wearing. Oh, what do we want to do? Ammo crafting, scavenging.
There's nothing for me.
I think we'll start today by helping the priest up in Meridian. Involves a little bit of talking and a lot of shooting. And now to follow the blinking green stuff. I know where the nearest set of stairs is, so that's what I'm heading toward.
Only the finest goods here. See for yourself.
The one who foiled the plot against our city. The sun honors me with our meeting. Ronora, I'm the mournful Naman. My apologies that we meet like this.
Like this?
In grief. You hold yours close, like a talisman. Wait, forgive me. You didn't come for reparations? Someone you lost to the Sun Ring?
No. I know about the Red Raids, but the Karja owe me nothing.
I see. Well, I could use the help of a strong-willed outlander. Then I would owe you very much indeed. These people seek to honor their loved, their lost, with their own voices, not mouthing Karja rituals to Karja stone. But there are obstacles. And while Meridian holds its breath for any disturbance, these robes only tie my hands.
What kind of obstacles?
The first pilgrim is an Oseram who seeks to visit the Shrine of Kings on the road to the city. He waits there now, forbidden to enter by an old sun priest who suffer no heathen. This Utaro lost her companion on the edge of the jewel, at a pool where snap moths gather. The shrine was built there to ward off the machines, and its effectiveness leaves much to be desired. And the Manuk would paint a mark on the sun's climb, a call to the machine spirits, I understand. They need no beckoning. Glint hawks perch there, drawn to the spire's shining.
So, clear the machines out of 2 shrines and move a priest out of the other.
All I can ask for is your charity and that their stories are heard.
Naman, rituals and prayers can't bring back those who are lost.
No, but it can help those who grieve to find themselves. It can lend them strength and hope, like a new sunrise.
I didn't think your priesthood would ask outsiders for help.
If only the sun would set on our pride. Until this is done, I am no sun priest. To wear a red robe was an aspiration. I aspired. Now our hoods make us blind. We whisper reconciliation, but forget how the old king's priests sang the words and blessed the killing.
The killing? You mean the Red Raids?
Yes. And the sacrifices that came after.
Why did the priests go along with all that bloodshed?
Sometimes we Karja are more concerned with what is tradition than what is right.
Huh. Maybe the Karja and Nora aren't so different.
Well, they...
You're disappointed with the Sun Priests, but you still wanted to be one?
I spent my whole life looking up to the temple. My brother's voice echoing in its arches. Even he couldn't turn me away, and how he tried. In the end. He said, when we were loved, our robes were dyed in cinnabar. Now they are stained in blood.
How so?
Our robes are handed down to us. Most of the old priests fled rather than be seen in the glare of the new sun. And so we are left to wear their sins. For me, at least, they hang heavy.
Where is your brother now?
He waits for me on the trail of the sun, I hope. He spoke out against the sacrifices. For a priest to question the Sun King's will, his punishment was worst of all.
You lost someone you loved, too. I'm sorry.
No, not lost. When I took on these robes, I found his memory.
I'll do what I can to help those in mourning.
To honor their memories is to honor us all.
There's just a lot of good writing and world building that goes into this.
That tried to kill our Sun King? Traitors, the whole tribe.
You learn so much just from single conversations.
These aren't goods, they're necessities.
Fine goods for a fair price.
My duty is a guard. I don't get involved in politics. My Sun King's grown too soft. Too much Oseram influenced the palace.
Since 2 of them are right over by each other, we'll do the talkie-talkie one first.
Always stay bright, always stay alert. Alice, and still he lives?
An Osram tries to kill the Sun King, and Nora saves his life.
This must be the Shrine of Kings that Naman told me about.
Public monument, not his private shrine.
You won't get in there. That dried-up old prune in a robe sees to that.
I can be persuasive. But what does an Oseram want with a Karja shrine, anyway?
It reminds me of someone. Gone 2 years now. But what does a girl like you know of loss?
Try me.
I had a lover. worked on monuments to their bastard king. Then he gave them a show in their sun ring for good measure. The Carja gave me back his broken bones, but what use are they? They won't build again. They won't make me smile.
And seeing a statue of the Mad Sun King will?
I need to see his work again. The marks his hands carved. The set of the metals they hammered. That's the soul of him. But that shriveled up old priest won't let me near it.
I'll see what I can do.
Turn away, child. The abiding Jahaman wishes to be alone in his retreat.
If you
Wearing window blinds on his face.
Others want to pray here.
Defile it, you mean? Yet another debasement of what was once pure. Truly, our tribe has lost the light. Our king is false, our temple is corrupt, and our soldiers weak. The sun hastens across the sky for shame.
So the Carja have become impure? What does that even mean?
Is Meridian not meant for those who built it, who made it great? It was pure before outlander squatters took it over.
You mean Meridian was pure when the outsiders were in cages or dying in your arena?
The sun is pure, child. It is not our place to question its divine will, only to act upon it.
I thought Avad taking the throne was the sun's will.
The boy dishonored his father, dishonored us all. To kill his Sun King. What shadow, what twilight time he brought upon us.
And how many more would the Mad Sun King have killed if Avad hadn't stopped him?
The sun called for blood. There was no choice but to obey.
You called the temple corrupt, but aren't you one of its priests?
They call themselves sun priests, but they have no authority. Youths and sycophants all. Yet those who gave their whole lives to the sun's service are shamed and ignored.
So that's what this is. A tantrum? A cry for attention?
You know nothing of our rights, and yet you dare to insult me.
Why do you think your army is weak? Because you're not at war with everyone?
A Carja throne relying on forged dirt mercenaries? Preposterous! The so-called liberation was nothing but a purge. Our most blessed warriors, chased out of the city, exiled to Sunfall and the Forbidden West. Our tribe is torn. The ones who walked in light now go by shadow.
And yet everyone but you seems happy they're gone. I'm done arguing with you. Stay or go, but I won't allow you to keep others away.
I am here by the will of the sun.
If you won't accept change, you should try to make peace with it. Your bitterness has poisoned you.
I have no need of your pity.
I wasn't offering it. But if you step aside, you can keep your pride, since it's so important to you.
There'll be a reckoning.
You'll back away from it.
Good to see you.
This side quest is so simple, but there's a lot to it.
He gave them the best work he'd ever do. And look at it now.
They defaced it because they hated what it stood for.
They defaced a thing slaves like him lived and died for. Slaves they've already forgotten. Short-sighted bastards, the lot. If they thought their son set off this bridge, they'd jump after it. I thank you for honoring my wish.
I hope you can find peace.
I wouldn't know what to do with it, any more than the Carja do.
Brigeld is one of maybe 4 characters in the entire game, and that might actually be more than there is. There might only be 3 or 2 that are noticeably LGBT. And it's kind of interesting because we're never really given an indication of what certain cultures think of that. Like, his relationship wasn't disparaged by anybody that he knew, but you definitely don't run into anybody in the Nora tribe who thinks that way. And since they consider motherhood and parenthood so important, I wonder what they would think of unions that aren't going to produce babies.
Tried to kill the sun. You put that Oseram assassin in his place.
More to the point, I wonder what the Nora even think of people in their tribe who decide they just flat out don't want to have children. I mean, we already know that their hierarchy pretty much decides that if you choose not to, then you're never going to go up in rank. But they pointedly don't say much more than that.
Going down. This must be the sun's climb, where the Banuk was.
Yep. Sorry, fella.
This is where the Ataru wanted to say their goodbyes.
One, two. Well, that
Here we are
takes
again,
care of that.
where we never left.
I hope we get to learn more about the Utaru in the next game, if there is one.
When we fled from our cages during the liberation, I tore through this clearing, thinking my friend was behind me. I kept running, but here she remains. Thank you for making it safe for me to return.
I don't want to rush you, but it won't stay safe for long.
I understand. I've done this before in waking dreams. In the pool, I'll find the bracelet of seeds she dropped when she fell. The seeds will be split, escaped, grown wild. She's passing from my memory into the jungles. I'll tell her it was I who died here and became a stranger in our own land, and she who still lives in every time of planting, of rains, harvests, and... Oh,
What is it?
there. Her bracelet. And... I thought she was behind me. But there's only my reflection.
Do you need to be alone?
For the first time, I am.
That's lovely dialogue. It's a little disappointing that the animation really doesn't live up to it. Like, you don't see her looking in the water when she sees, quote, fingers, the bracelet, and I think that's kind of a shame, really. As beautifully animated as this game is, there are places where a little more animation could have gone into it. One, two, three.
You are a better hunter than I. I'll paint the mark while the spirits of the Glinthawks linger.
There'll be more where they came from.
Yes, there will always be more machines. Their spirits find new bodies, but we only last as long as memory. That's why I must leave this story. A monument to our vanished shamans, to the wisdom the Karja bled from us. The machine oil in the paint will preserve it. Preserve their memory against all that was cut away. You have my thanks, Hunter.
So is that what that means? I'm just saying triangles wind up having a lot of different definitions in this.
It's beautiful in its way.
Aw. Finally some knockdown. Okay. Now we return to mournful Naman, and then we head for, I think it's Maker's End.
Let's have a chat. No, a colorful discussion.
We will eventually do this guy's side quest here later, probably before we go up to the Frozen Wilds. But right now, it's not the most important, necessarily.
So you've come back to the temple.
I was invited back. The priests wanted to hear what I had to say about reconciliation with the other tribes. They're listening. At least they've begun to listen. There's a distance between ears and needs.
Because of what we did?
What you did.
It was for the mourners. I think it helped them.
You set them on the path. You can't know what their journeys hold. Such is the priest's lot. Perhaps a red robe would suit you.
Not me. Besides, your temple doesn't even take women.
We would be richer if we did. Go in light, my friend, and let the sun cast your way.
Thank you, Naman. Where I'm going, I could probably use all the light I can get.
Alrighty. Let's go to Maker's End. How much map have I unlocked so far? Let's see. Not too much of it. We haven't been up there yet. Oh, you know what? That's the watchtower, I think. Maybe. We'll set a thing and run up there real quick. Especially since I need to buy more wire anyway. Time to follow the floating flag. I realized that I exercised exactly 0 self-awareness. I did not check around me to see if there were any machines first. The unflinching watch. And I was right, it is the guard tower that has 0 merchants at it.
Hey, we have nothing for you. Go on. Move.
Oh, these are Shadow Karja. Okay. I guess it makes sense now why they were talking about a ceasefire back when she met Erend out here.
A fork. This must be when Nassan was supposed to check in.
And now we go the other way. Those are tramplers. Yes.
Maker's End. Not much farther now. Nolan said he found an image of the woman I resemble on an ancient device. If she's my mother, why would there be traces of her all the way out here?
Let's see if I can bypass them by going up this way.
I don't get it. Who is she?
Her name is Elizabeth Sobeck.
You? Spying through my focus again? Well, go on. What do you know about her?
Stay on your present course, and before long, you'll know her as well as I do. Maybe better, but be wary. Maker's End is crawling with Eclipse troops. To help you deal with them, I've left some useful equipment just outside the ruins. Your focus will show the location.
More than enough to take you on. How does he know these things? He said Elizabeth Sobeck. What kind of name is that?
Well, that was a mistake. Ooh, dropped a rare'n. And a bandit camp. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to hit that before Maker's End. We'll see. Yep, looks like it. Give me some glowing grass. Yes.
And there's the rain.
Oh, and there's Nil.
I waited for you. Time passing pulls the anticipation tight as wire. How many has it been now?
I don't keep count, Nil.
Don't keep count? Sometimes I just don't get you. Are you like us, or a little different?
Hopefully a little different.
That's what you're gonna tell yourself. Shall we get started?
Oh. Little bit of that. Doo-doot. 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 Oh. Doo-doot. Wonder, can I get you at this distance? It looks like I can.
Easy, easy.
Oh, damn. Back to the pile of grass, dude.
Don't mind me.
Oh, can I get that one? Let's see. Yes!
She's taking high ground.
Where are you at? Still out there.
You're giving up.
Oh, good, I found the alarm. Damn.
They're still looking.
It's nearly amazing. The rule of thumb is almost always, if you get the one that's taking up the rear, the rest of them won't notice. No, you jackass.
That little Nora's above us.
If we don't rally, we're screwed.
She went that way.
Eyes up! She's trying to get over on us.
The bandits brought their prisoners here.
Okay.
It's okay. In a moment, you'll be free. You're coming with me.
Well, so far this has been an excellent exercise in letting Nil take care of it.
Stay sharp.
I'm out.
Who we missing? That guy. Okay. A quick rummage through whatever shack it is they keep all their cool stuff in.
She's incredible. Stopped Derma without breaking a sweat.
My boss said he lost another caravan in the machines last week. Docked my wages.
Where's that merchant?
The Sun King owes his life to an outlander. What a strange time we live in.
You buy my leftovers. Okay, well, what mods can we get rid of? A lot, apparently. Handling is fine. Okay, now
Letting
to...
the Oseram take Derval? They'll give him a rap on the knuckles and let him go.
Now to go and speak to Nil to close this side quest out.
These little moments are refreshing, aren't they?
That could be the least creepy thing you've said to me.
Ah, that glimpse of yourself in their eyes just as the cloud of death passes across them.
Never mind. There it goes. You know, Nil, if you get tired of bandits, there's a group called the Eclipse.
That's a political situation.
They're murderers, and they're raising an army of machines. That's a little more than politics.
Don't hate me for being single-minded. Besides, I wouldn't bet on how long the Shadow Cards are going to last, if you're in for the kill.
We've come a long way from Norland. Where have you been, Nell?
I heard the roads of the Sundom were no longer safe. And thankfully, it was true. Ambushes, raiding parties, even corrupted machines. The mortal wounds just opened themselves to accept my arrows. But you knew this already. You've been walking on the edge of life and death. I can tell.
Yeah. It's a long story.
With many quick endings, I hope.
Goodbye, Nell.
I don't want to alarm you, but the bandits are thinning out. Makes you wish you could kill them more than once, doesn't it?
No, once is enough.
You're right, of course. Once is enough. When you really make it count.
Okay, goodbye, Nell.
My strange, weird little shooty man. Yes, he is both strange and weird. Fight me.
I don't want to think about what would have happened without you there to save the Sun King.
There's probably a vantage point near here somewhere. Not one that's visible. I would love to find out what this used to be, though. Oh, there's all this stuff. Wasn't that convenient? Oh, Nelly, let's see. Think I can get you?
Stay out of their way for now.
Oh no, you fucking don't.
Lights down.
Damn it. Ah, there we go.
Definitely not scrap.
Hello, you. Let's see. Just about to have too many of those. There we go. Okay, we're good-ish on that front, but... Alright, Sheeran. It's nothing personal, bro. I just gotta run past you.
This won't go quietly.
Oh.
Right where he said it would be.
Well, I am never going to use that, but thank you, dude.
I'll put those to use. Why are you doing this?
Because I want you to succeed. Good hunting. We'll talk later.
Wait! Damn him.
Okay. It's time for a stealth infiltration. It's gonna be another one of those please don't fuck this up, ImpureTale.
Snow chill itches. Corrupted watchers. The Eclipse and corrupted machines. Cooperating. One happy family. Eclipse, just like he said.
Now this may take some doing.
Forged dirt bell was made
Yep, I'm totally invisible.
but not the ancients buried in the ground.
I'm gonna check that out.
One in the back goes down. One in the front goes down. What you doing, son? Yeah, I'm totally invisible. Well, that didn't do shit, did it?
Heard something.
Ah. Damn it.
These dig sites, they're massive.
Apologies for the sound you just heard. That was my phone. Which, by the way, scared the ever-loving hell out of me while I was playing Amnesia the other day.
did the old ones do here?
That. Goes that.
So they woke up. You got anything better to do?
Except for shoot each other, you mean? Oh, hi.
Might prove a challenge.
Actually don't think I have anything left to kill except for this, so...
Low and quiet does it. That hurt it.
I think that's everybody. And no worries, they will be completely respawned by the time I get back here.
With them fighting at our side, Meridian will be ours once more.
Heard you talking, where are you at? Well, there's a watcher. No cultist, though. I guess they just really wanted me to hear that line of dialogue. I'm once again very underdressed for this location.
An explosion. Another explosion.
Rotate turret! And fire! All weapons operational. Time to get it moving
Okay, let's get the little guys first.
Has to be one of the Deathbringers Olin talked about. Fitting name. Tower. Unless I destroy that thing first.
Got you.
That's got their attention.
Man.
I can get out of this.
And then that just leaves Big Ugly. And that one guy who was behind him, but...
Did it. Those things pack a punch. All right. That Eclipse officer had a focus. Let's... Let's see what you have to say. What is this?
The entity lives. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Silence, you could have warned her about that.
What the hell was that? Hades? Hey! Mysterious stranger, did you see that? No answer, huh? Figures. Things just keep getting stranger. I need to find a way inside the tower. Looks tight, but I can squeeze through.
And of course, my apologies. There's going to be a lot of red documents in here. But I think they're all kind of valid and fun for talking about with the world building.
Genetic profile confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobeck. Please step inside.
Dr. Sobeck, you are 355,510 days overdue for your meeting with Mr. Fowler. Please proceed to the 35th floor.
Wait. 350,000. That's hundreds of years ago. What's going on?
Protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, quantum encryption, black quartz stuff, way beyond military grade. That's what you demanded. So that's what we delivered.
You don't code something you can't crack. All we need is a backdoor. Upload the latest service pack update and the problem goes away.
You specifically forbade us from leaving anything resembling a backdoor in code. Every protocol to Black Quartz standard. Your words. Look, if you need me to fudge some projections, it's nothing we haven't done before.
I don't need fudged projections. I need a way to... I don't need fudged projections. I need a way to reassert control over the Hearts Timor swarm.
I don't know what to tell you, Ted. You're asking the impossible.
So, codes. They needed codes of some kind to control the machines. But they got out of control. Sounds bad. Should have brought a cart. A Deathbringer. Or a statue of one anyway. A machine built to kill. And they honored it?
Welcome to Faro Automated Solutions, where all the problems of tomorrow are being solved today. With over 25,000 human employees based in nations and corporate holdings across the globe, Faro leads the world in every sector of self-sustaining, fully automated technology. From revolutionary consumer products close to home, like the Faro Focus, to the dynamic chariot line of peacekeeping robots halting bloodshed in conflict zones across the globe, Faro remains committed to making the future smarter, brighter, safer, and always surprising. Faro Automated Solutions. For every problem of life, a smart solution.
So they made the Focus. 25,000 people? That's bigger than a tribe. So they made machines and devices. I guess those things were common in their world.
Reception log. July 7th, 2064, 9:54 a.m. Field Commandant Daing of the Indo-Malay Agricultural Combine arrived with his delegation. Refreshments to be served before their 10:15 a.m. sales presentation on the Chariot line. Per instructions, food will be vegetarian only. 10:07 a.m. Sander Agnew, Vice President of Territorial Integrity from Fresh Grounds Coffee Global, arrived with his entourage. Refreshments to be served before their 10:30 a.m. sales presentation on the Chariot line. Per instructions, will use Fresh Grounds Tacoma blend, no artificial creamers. 10:12 a.m. So that happened. Called security and janitorial to clean up the coffee that was spilled. Actually, more like thrown. I wasn't aware that the Indo-Malay Combine grows coffee beans and that Fresh Grounds' acquisition team has tried to take their fields by force repeatedly. I think Commandant Daing had Agnew by the hair, but for a second there. Who schedules these things? I'm going to drop a line to sales, because this can't happen again. Even in this alternate universe, Starbucks is evil.
What was this place? What were they doing here?
It was a corporation. A group of people not unlike a tribe. And they made machines.
Yeah, go on.
I've uploaded some data files to your Focus. They'll help you understand.
Elizabeth Sobeck, born March 11th, 2020, is an American scientist, roboticist, and engineer, widely regarded as one of the greatest minds of the 21st century. Born and raised outside Carson City, Nevada, she enrolled at Stanford University at the age of 13, earning a BS in experimental physics and computer science at age 16. She completed her PhD in robotics and artificial intelligence design at Carnegie Mellon University in 2040, and joined Faro Automated Solutions as a junior scientist the same year, rising quickly to chief scientist at the age of 22. Over the next 8 years, her green robot designs played a vital role in realizing the environmental cleanup and detoxification efforts of the clawback decade, propelling FAS to the forefront of its field. In 2048, she suddenly resigned from FAS, protesting the company's pivot to automated military technologies. In 2049, she founded Miriam Technologies, a firm devoted to life-positive robotics and other technologies. Miriam has since become one of the world's largest suppliers of green robots, winning numerous rewards and accolades, including the 2053 Nobel Prize for Physics and the 2056 Rachel Carson Award for Environmental Progress. Theodore Ted Farrow, born December 24, 2013, is an American entrepreneur and business magnate. He is the founder of Farrow Automated Solutions, the largest corporation of all time, the world's wealthiest individual, and the first ever trillionaire. Born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah, he enrolled in the University of California, Los Angeles, where he studied business for 2 years before dropping out in 2033 to start FAS. Though it struggled at first, the company broke through at the end of the troubled 2030s with its popular lines of personal servitors and bodyguard bots, then exploded when its famous line of green robots led the race to solve the climate crisis during the 2040s, Clawback. At the end of that decade, FAS opened a military defense branch, dominating the world market for automated military platforms by 2053. The success of FAS has made Mr. Farrow the world's best-known businessman, one of its most sought-after speakers, and a major voice in politics, culture, and international affairs. Farrow Automated Solutions is an American multinational corporate entity that produces robots for all walks of life, though its core business consists of military and defense contracts. As of 2063, FAS has ranked number 1 among the Fortune 5 by gross revenue and profit for 10 years in a row, a world record. Founded in 2033 by Ted Farrow, an entrepreneur from Salt Lake City, Utah, the company developed several promising robot prototypes in its early years, but failed to break into markets dominated by then-industry giants like General Synthetics and Recorp. This changed in 2038 with the debut of the Alfred line of levitating personal servitors, which generated exceptional sales, lifting the company onto the Fortune 50 for the first time. Profits tripled in the 2040s as the company's environmental efforts, led by famed engineer Elizabeth Sobeck, catapulted FAS to the head of that sector. In 2049, in the wake of the successful green and climate cleanup efforts around the globe, worldwide approval ratings of FAS exceeded 90%, and founder Ted Farrow was hailed across media and social networks as the man who saved the world. Yet it was the emergence of the FAS as a military contractor in the late 2040s that cemented its status as the world's wealthiest corporation, with a record market capitalization of over $23 trillion. By 2055, FAS controlled 61% of the market share for automated military platforms, holding contracts with 353 nations, trans-governmental organizations, and corporate entities. Today, its holdings exceed the second largest corporation, FB Mobile HAL Global, by 321%. Boy, I wonder how many things they tried to fit into that acronym right there. And then definition of a corporation. An association of individuals created under authority of law having existence, powers, and liabilities distinct from those of its members. Any floating boxes? Okay.
The air. There's no smell to it. Not even old death. Nothing natural.
Anything down here? There is, but it wants me to go in here first.
Another cave-in. But I could get through.
From J. Friedkin to reception, subject re-complaint. Hey reception, if that is your real name, want to know who's scheduled Indo Malay right next to Fresh Grounds? That would be me, Senior VP of Sales. Want to know why? After that little hair-pulling incident, both sides increased their bids by 40%. I'll explain, because your receptionist-level brain probably requires it. Those two sides are fighting. And what do we sell? That's right, combat machines. We want them to hate each other. So they will try to fight each other with what? That's right, again, combat machines, which they will pay us a lot of money for. So I suggest you go back to serving coffee with a blank smile and let me do the much more complicated job. Thanks a bunch, Mr. Friedkin, to you. So, what you're telling me is that Faro Automated Solutions engineered a conflict. Deliberately. Is this the way we came, or is this something wholly new? And that's all there is to be had down here. Okay. So Starbucks was attacking this group's coffee fields, which is why they wanted to buy military machines. And was Faro Automated Solutions already selling Starbucks military machines in order to take those coffee fields?
Looks like I can climb here.
I know it's fresh ground, but we're going to call it Starbucks. Because it pleases me.
Looks like the way up.
Well, we're going to look around down here first. Any floating boxes? Floating boxes in there. Floating box. FAS campus log. High priority alert. Automated log note. All non-essential systems have entered hibernation. Automated log note. Full lockdown has been initiated. Due to increasing frequency of violent protests targeting the campus, security of FAS employees can no longer be guaranteed. Therefore, we have taken the difficult decision to shutter the facility indefinitely. Staff will be briefed on a block-by-block basis regarding proper procedure for archiving and/or disposal of project-related data and materials. HiSec and a crisis team will then conduct exit review before all areas are locked down. Priority messaging to all staff in E and F blocks. Treat the current lockdown situation as an exercise, but do not attempt to release the hatches or otherwise exit the buildings. A reminder that while HiSec personnel remain committed to employee safety during the current unfortunate events, personal firearms must be relinquished when presenting for identiscan. Additional public access roads en route to the campus have now been closed to relieve waiting time at the outer security cordons. HiSec reminds all staff that the campus remains off limits to the public. Following the recent campus security issues, all staff were reminded that presenting for identiscan and displaying your security badge prominently at all times for image analytics are both mandatory. In light of recent acts of terrorism directed at the rapid transit system, HiSec now offers a Big Brother initiative to accompany staff traveling from off-site. Sign-up is required and strongly encouraged. I like that the second less intense option comes after being required.
So people were angry at Faro, at the corporation. They blamed this place for something. Something bad.
Spiritual Summit from Ted Faro to Paula Vasara. Paula, recent events have sharpened my perspective, and I think that I and FAS in general have been neglecting the spiritual side of things. Not under any specific religious framework, of course, but in a more general sense. As in not giving enough thought to our shared values, hopes, and aspirations for the afterlife. I'd like you to reach out to religious leaders of every stripe with the intention of scheduling a conference soon. Very soon. I'll have more thoughts about the agenda later, but for now, let's put out some feelers and see if we can lock something in. Make it a big tent. No kooks, but anyone with a credible audience. Let's go deluxe. Make it clear we'll spare no expense. That's... Well, everything about this is suspicious. I can't really side-eye that one in particular. Floating boxes. Holograms.
The ACA-3 Scarab combines conventional and information warfare capabilities in one package, designed for high-speed, all-terrain reconnaissance. It boasts the world's highest survivability rating of any Scout-class autonomous agent. Maybe it's the Scarab's emergency biomass conversion systems that ensure it always makes it back to base, even if fuel supply lines have been interdicted. Or maybe it's the Scarab's ability to slave enemy robots to its own network. Now that's force multiplication. Add a prehensile manipulator arm that can handle a host of functions, from 360-degree less lethal riot management to surgical repairs of Allied chariot line models. And you've got the workhorse of any cutting-edge peacekeeping fleet.
The Corruptor. Slave enemy robots to its own network. It sounds like it's talking about how it corrupts machines.
The FSP-5 Khopesh provides a one-size-fits-all solution to main battle force capability. Metamaterial construction delivers unmatched recoil dampening, allowing you to field any weapon package that conforms to your budget needs and conflict resolution profile. Patented biomass conversion systems allow extended emergency operations with minimal environmental impact.
No, it's just going to eat a bunch of civilians.
Simultaneous real-time threat analysis and legal review for autonomous domestic operations. Or control can be slaved to the swarm's neural network for weapons-free force application. Either way, when it's time to call out the big guns, it's time to call Khopesh.
The Deathbringer. So this was the heavy hitter. Main battle force indeed.
The BOR-7 Horus. Imagine your complete engagement ecosystem comprehensively managed by a high-speed learning machine network. Whether your need is to replace battlefield losses or intensify force projection, the Horus's onboard manufacturing capabilities mean you'll never get stuck waiting for the next arms delivery. Simply redefine your force parameters, and the Horus will fabricate additional units to fill the ranks for an affordable per-unit licensing fee. Meanwhile, the biomass conversion systems of other chariot line models allow them to keep the Horus fueled, repaired, and ready, extending its operational tolerances beyond that of any competing Titan-class platform. That's the Horus advantage. Always regulating, always ready. The future of automated warfare made real today.
The Metal Devil. So these were Faro machines too. Manufacturing capabilities. They can make more of themselves. Then how would you ever stop them?
For a licensing fee, of course, because they even have plans for this crap to go obsolete so they can continue chugging as much money as possible out of people. Like, it's not that you can buy your own robot farm and then it's yours and everything that it produces. No, it just means that you have the Amazon shopping cart right there on the battlefield with you. You still gotta pay for it.
It'll be a long way up. Frozen metal most of the way. Not making this easy, Dr. Sobeck. If plants can find a way to hang on up here, guess I can too.
Oh, crap, okay.
It's cold.
Since the began when they engaged in unauthorized offensive operations against robots and human personnel of the Hart's Timor Energy Combine. Now I wish that I could relate that the crisis has been exaggerated, but it's not. The Peacekeepers have not responded to stand-down codes, and by all signs, they appear to be replicating at a precipitous rate. Now, what I can promise, can absolutely assure you, is that I am already devoting every possible resource towards reaching a speedy conclusion to this issue. So when you hear the bad talk about us against this company in the days, maybe weeks to come, just bear in mind that we will get past this. And a day's coming when none of this will matter.
Peacekeepers. That's what they called their machines. They were built for war, not peace.
Okay. So there were just two ways to get up there. Had to be sure.
Can't carry more.
Well, I love that somebody left their rock collection way the hell up here. Just in case you needed some. From Gordon Nakata to Gina Zierman. Gina. Ever hear of the Melville Island Fruit Association? Neither had I until they filed suit against us this morning. Apparently there's a little island paradise off the coast of Australia, population 2,700, all of whom hate us, now that a Stray Hearts Timor unit is chowing down on their largest mango orchard. That brings the official count of Heart Timor-related lawsuits to 127, most of them from private companies, and also a bunch from individuals, nation-states, and NGOs. And that's not even counting the mother of all liability claims from Hearts itself. Call every external firm we've ever used, then call their competitors. We're going to need every corporate defense lawyer we can find who's still half sober and on the bar. So it started consuming important crops of small nations, probably their main source of food and exports and... From Stacey Anders to Robert Rescher. Subject, Dolphin Vid. Bob, another problem to add to our big steaming pile. Apparently a fisherman in the Band of Sea captured video of the Hearts Timor Horus unit refueling via biomatter conversion along the shoreline of Palau Watar. On a pod of endangered dolphins, no less. Quite possibly the last of their kind. Not to get graphic, but it looks like what happens inside a blender, as if the robot was whipping up a big pink swirling milkshake of dolphin chum. Our suppression team has scrubbed it from 43 networks, but it's still propagating, so it's only a matter of time before it goes viral. A prepared statement feels grossly insufficient, so any suggestions? This one's a real stinker. Stacey Anders, VP, PR, FAS. And now it's eating intelligent animals. And probably soon, people. Well, I kind of hoped I could open that to something neat.
A way up. All it takes is a few good handholds.
So, in short,
made it.
The gist that I'm getting is that Pharaoh helped Starbucks destroy everything. We're gonna do this real quick because I will forget if I don't.
I keep finding these power cells. What do they do?
God, I'm so high up I can't see anything.
Data has been erased from this device. Do you wish to deploy alpha privileges to recover purged data?
Oh yes, I believe I do.
A file has been recovered.
Elizabeth, good to, it's been years.
Where's your legal team, Ted?
No need. I dropped all 18 lawsuits the moment you landed. I assume your data confirms this.
Alright, this promises to be interesting.
Perhaps we could have lunch brought in. You know, get reacquainted.
I know you, Ted. You screwed something up, something big, or you wouldn't have eaten the crow necessary to get me here. So, spit it out.
There's a glitch in the chariot line.
Your killer robots?
Peacekeepers, yes, those.
So shut them down.
Obviously, Liz, we would, if we could. They're not responding.
Are you telling me a swarm has gone rogue, Ted?
It's worse than that.
Show me the data then. And I'll take that lunch. Alone. Ted Faro brought Elizabeth Sobeck here, but they hated each other.
Another file has been recovered.
This isn't a glitch. It's a catastrophe.
Fully aware. It's bad.
Bad?
Jesus, Liz.
It's not bad, Ted. It's apocalyptic. You built a line of killer robots.
Peacekeepers.
That consume biomass as fuel.
In emergencies.
And you made them capable of self-replication.
Limited, self-manufacture, controlled.
Not anymore. The glitch severed chain of command. The only nation this swarm answers to now is itself.
You think I...
Everything else is just food. And at the rate it's replicating, Ted, it will strip the Earth bare in 15 months. We're not talking fall of civilization. We're talking extinction.
I get it, Liz. So how do I stop it while it's contained?
It's not contained. It can't be.
You know what I mean.
Right. Before the truth gets out, you mean?
Liz, I will do anything you say. Keep working it, and whatever you recommend, I'll do.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Ted. The Faro robots threatened all life on Earth. But somehow she defeated them. The world of the old ones fell, but life went on, or we wouldn't be here.
A final file has been recovered.
Okay, so just to briefly think about what's being discussed here, the swarm is out of control because it has become self-aware. It's gone rogue. It is itself now. But it's still locked to these specific parameters. Like, it's unhackable, but one of the very key bits of detail that we were given is that, for one, the Horus units are not supposed to be able to replicate and create new soldiers unless a licensing fee is paid. So how did it get around that? Because literally all Ted Farrow would have had to do is just declare all of the current units obsolete and to wait for the upload of a new schematic. And then all he'd have to do is charge it with a currency that they can't get access to. Like, if the licensing fee thing is there, that should have stopped them. So I wonder why they didn't think of that. Wonder if they get around that in any way.
Project Zero Dawn. Jesus, Liz.
He said it!
There has to be another way.
If there were a nicer way to fix your mess, I would have proposed it.
But this? This? When I asked you to find a cure, I didn't expect it to be worse than the disease.
It's not, Ted. It may be grim, but it's our only chance. Now sign the proposal.
Sign it? I can't sign that.
Yes, you can.
That? Liz, I cannot in good conscience sign that.
You've got a choice, Ted.
I know.
I'm speaking to you from a VTOL en route to U.S. Robot Command. In 15 minutes, I meet with General Harris and the rest of the Joint Chiefs.
What? Are you crazy?
Now your choice is what I tell them. Sign, and I'll tell them the wealthiest corporation on Earth has guaranteed the funds necessary to build Zero Dawn. Exactly as I've designed it. Or don't sign, and I will make sure they and everyone else on this planet knows the real cause of the glitch.
Jesus, Liz. You don't have to threaten me. I'll sign.
Look on the bright side, Ted. From here on out, you get to do what you've always been good at. Footing the bill while others get their hands dirty.
God forgive me.
What made her solution so terrible? What did she do to stop the robots?
Executive access detected. Express lift opened.
The only thing I could possibly think of that the Metal Devils, that the Horus lines managed to do, is maybe they basically bootlegged the robots. Like, they changed the design just enough that it didn't break copyright so they could continue making them. I don't know.
This doesn't add up. Sobeck couldn't have been my mother. She lived ages ago. All this searching, and I'm still no closer.
That's your reaction to everything you've just learned? To whine like a spoiled child?
You should really try talking that way to me face to face.
As you wish. Do you really have no idea how monumental are the discoveries you just made, Aloy? I expected more of you.
So, you have a face. Got a name to go with it?
Of all the questions you could ask right now, that's the one you choose. I've spent decades searching the ruins of the old ones, trying to solve the mystery of what happened to them. For years, I've suspected that Thero robots destroyed their civilization, but I could never confirm it. And in minutes, you uncover more ancient knowledge than I have in a lifetime. And what you want to know is my name. Silence. That's my name. Now, why don't you try asking another question? Something less trivial.
You have no idea what I've been through. How hard it's been. My whole life, I grew up not knowing who I am, or where I came from, and then come the Eclipse trying to kill me just because I look like this Elizabeth Sobeck woman.
And they killed the man who raised you and you found the mountain as a baby. I already know this through your focus.
The point is, every time I take a step forward, the answers slip farther from my grasp. You just don't understand.
It's not that I don't understand, Aloy. It's that I don't care. If the answers keep slipping away every step you take, then you best start running to catch up. Maybe then you'll realize just how big your problems really are.
What exactly are you talking about?
You've chased a personal riddle into a crowd of larger mysteries. The common thread is your connection to Elizabeth Sobeck.
But what is that connection? She couldn't have been my mother if she lived centuries ago.
We don't know the connection yet. The only way to find out is to keep going, to keep making discoveries. Thanks to you, we've only just now learned that Pharaoh robots once threatened to end life on Earth.
But it didn't happen. The Old One's civilization was destroyed, but life was saved.
Obviously. So, what did Elizabeth do? How did she stop the robots before all was lost?
What was Project Zero Dawn?
Exactly the question. Now, are you ready to go get the answer?
Of course I am.
Then why are you still standing here?
Not so fast, Silence. You've got some explaining to do.
I've told you quite enough. If you've still got questions, be quick about it and stop wasting my time.
So far as I can tell, the Eclipse are just following orders. It's Hades who wants me dead. Who is he?
I don't know. The Eclipse described him as a buried shadow, some kind of devil.
That thing that spoke to me outside, that made that focus explode. That was Hades? It didn't seem like a person or a machine. More like a phantom. With a terrible voice.
All that's certain is that he wants you dead.
Because of my connection to Elizabeth. Has to be.
Hades is using the Eclipse to resurrect Pharaoh robots.
But if Elizabeth found a way to stop them centuries ago, if she made special weapons, maybe Hades is worried I'll do the same thing.
In some of the ancient data I've recovered, there are hints of so-called super weapons being developed. Maybe to stop the robots, the civilization of the old ones had to destroy itself. Now if that's enough talking, be on your way.
I'm just getting started. You've been getting a free ride on my focus, risking nothing while I risk everything. All I have to do is take this thing off my head, and you'll be blind, deaf, and dumb. So quit complaining and answer my questions.
Very well. Proceed.
You said you've known for some time that Pharaoh war machines destroyed the civilization of the old ones.
The evidence pointed that way. But until now, I never knew the full scope of their danger. That they could process organic matter into fuel, or that the Horus class could manufacture more robots. Like a cauldron on legs.
But the robots we've seen so far, the Corruptors and Deathbringers, they don't do those things.
Not yet, anyway. So far, we haven't encountered any that are undamaged. At full power, who knows what they're capable of?
Who are you, Silence? And what are your intentions?
You really need to make this personal? I'm a lone wanderer who left his tribe behind a long time ago. An explorer of forbidden places, a searcher of lost knowledge. Exactly as I said.
Why do you know so much about the Eclipse?
I happen to know a lot about a lot of things. If what you're really asking is whether I work for the Eclipse or anyone else, I don't. I am nothing if not independent.
You've been using my focus to spy on me. How's that possible?
Every focus emits a signal, a voice, that only other focuses can hear. I know how to string those voices together, how to make them talk to each other, to communicate, even over vast distances.
How do you learn to do that?
Years of study and experimentation. In principle, it's not so different from how you override machines. I override focuses.
And you can spy through other Eclipse's focuses too.
Usually. All I'll say is that overriding the connections is complicated.
Is there any chance that Elizabeth Sobeck could still be alive somehow?
It's highly unlikely, but not impossible. Some of the ancient data I've recovered includes mentions of life extension techniques. Pharmaceuticals, mostly, an ancient word for medicine. But some were still trying to perfect ways of freezing and unfreezing people.
Freezing and unfreezing people?
Cryogenics, they called it. But there were problems with it. Given Elizabeth's technological acumen, I can't definitively rule out that she found a way to make herself immortal. But this is speculation. Wasting time.
Elizabeth told Ted Faro she was headed for a place called U.S. Robot Command to tell people about Zero Dawn.
The place still exists as a ruin. The Asaram call it the Grave Horde.
Grave Horde? Cheery name.
You'll find it in the Eastern Mountains, buried under the tangled coils of a metal devil, or a BOR-7 Horus, rather, as we're learning to call them. I'll contact you when you get there.
I can't wait. Someday we'll meet in person, and your manners had better be improved.
He's just kind of like that, Aloy.
Well, getting down will be a lot faster than getting up there, at least. U.S. Robot Command next. To learn the secrets of Zero Dawn.
Now that she knows more about him, it might actually be a good time to go and do the Frozen Wild, but that's not going to be tonight. First, I gotta try to get down here without dying, because God knows I have walked right off this cliff without rappelling before. And they're back.
You're not gonna be the one to stop me.
Come on, dude. Oh, I'm stuck, that's why. It is taking forever for the rest of you to get over here. Finally. Come on, dude. Come on out. There you are. Okay, and I am going to fast travel over Nya real quick to save, because I think this is probably a good place for us to close out. I would end this note on going to see Rost, but I actually think that might be a good way to start broadcast, just so that we can get a recap of everything we've been up to. So, with all of that done, this has been a good session. I want to remind you all that this particular game I play on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching over on YouTube, give this a like and subscribe, and come on over and watch with us live one of these days. On my off days, I have been playing both Minecraft and Amnesia: The Dark Descent. If you would like to watch any previous broadcasts, you can find them all on my YouTube channel. If you're watching from PS4 and you'd like to see either the YouTube channel or my Twitch channel, the username you are looking for is ImpureTale. You all have a great evening and have a good long weekend.